What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Imperfect Action Show. It's episode 30. That means we've been going for 6 weeks strong. Haven't missed a day.
Wow.
Even when I traveled, there was one episode that I made sure I pre-recorded it and loaded it up. Right, we gotta make sure we got something for y'all. So on this show, right, we taking perfect action. We teach you marketing strategies, lessons, principles, and also business strategy lessons and principles to encourage you to take imperfect action so you can have some movement in your business, right? So on today's episode, I'm super excited to have the one and only can I say Dr. Coach Kelly? Can we do that? We got Dr. Coach Kelly on, who's someone that I've been following. I'm so excited to have her on the episode. Not only am I so excited to have her on the episode, the information that she's going to give around doing 100K in a day is going to be super powerful. So please introduce yourself. Welcome to the show. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send a text out to the community, let them know that we're on live. I do not want them to miss anything that you have to share. And if they have questions, obviously they can ask you in real time. So welcome to the show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me to the Imperfect Action Show. This is amazing. I never take for granted that I am invited to a space. I'm invited to a space because you saw value in me, and I now see value in you. My name is Coach Kelly J. I teach the people that reach the people, which means I coach coaches. I figure that is the best way to get jewels in my crown is by leading leaders and all the people that they're leading. So if you are in the coaching space, I invite you to tap in and see what I'm talking about today, which is how to create $100,000 in one day.
So look, I tell people all the time, I'm hosting, but I'm also taking notes. So if I can host and take notes, you guys have no excuses. And I'm telling you, do not want to miss the spice that Coach Kelly is going to drop. So I'll say maybe about a week ago or so, I had reached out to Coach Kelly and I asked if she would come on the show, and she said yes. Then I'm like, okay, well, what are we going to talk about? There's so many different things for us to talk about, and she had mentioned that she recently, did another 100K in a day. So I'm like, oh, I think that's the topic right there. Let's do that because a lot of people that I'm coaching or that I run into, they're looking to make 5K, 10K in a month. They're looking to start moving from check to check, obviously, and things like that. So when someone is conceptualizing how to do 100K in a day, what's the mindset around that versus in a month? Like, is it any different, or do you approach it the same? I know there's a lot of more work that has to get done in the front end, but what's the mindset? Why don't we start off with that?
That is a great question because that says you understand that it starts with a mindset first. And it absolutely 100% does. The first thing you have to have is the belief that it's possible. Legit, you have to have belief that, wait a minute, this is possible. I had to see someone do it. I am one of my coaches, well, two of my main coaches are Nehemiah Davis and Myron Golden. When I got in Myron Golden's room, there was people in there doing $1 million a day. And so, and they normalized it. I put myself in an environment where it was normalized that that's just what you do is possible. And when I went in that room and I saw them giving awards for $1 million a day and $100,000 a day, I told myself the next time I come in this room, I'm getting that award. So I decided. That's number two. You got to decide. You got to see it. You got to normalize it. You got to decide, I can do this. I can access this. This isn't just for somebody else. It can very much so be for me. So that was in October of 2021. That next month, I did $100,000 in a day.
Hold up, guys. Hold up, because I listen. First of all, so I'm a Virgo, right? So I pay attention to details. I'll be picking up on the nitty gritty. I see even things in your background. Like we talked off camera. Like I noticed at Russell Brunson books, right? I pick up on details. So you said that you were in the inner, you was in Myron's inner circle. You saw the awards going out. And I've seen some of it. So he got the swords and he got the shields. There we go, right? There we go. He got the swords, got the shields, 100K in a day, right? A million in a day. I see Nail did 2 million in a day one time, so we got the sword and the shield at one time. I mean, at the same time. But you put yourself in the room. You seen the people that were doing. It inspired you. I don't know if you thought about this prior, but that inspired you, and then you said the next time this is gonna be me. But the belief system was already there because you were in the room and people were already doing it.
Right.
So
Right.
so I don't want people to miss that because it sounds like Coach Kelly, she just like you said, she believed that she can do it. She decided that she was gonna do it, and then she had the access to do it. So I just had to pause you for a second because I received that. That was very powerful.
Yeah, it's I had to, even before that, Brendan, I had to put myself in the environment. And it was a big investment to put myself in that environment. Myron's group is $155,000 a year. Neil's group is $55,000 a year. Together, that's $200,000. What if I would have said, man, they're crazy? They're crazy. Now, let me back up just a little bit, if I may.
Please.
I joined Neo's group in October of last year. And I'm saying their names because I honor them for showing me the way. But it could be whoever it is, whoever your leader is. So I joined in October of last year. I was already a very successful coach, but I'd not done $100,000 in a month yet. I joined Neo's group in June. I did $100,000 that next month, in a month. Have done $100,000 minimum every month since then. I joined Myron's group in October. I saw the $100,000 in a day and I was like, wait a minute. Oh, people doing this in a day? So I had to raise my own bar and say, if they can do it in a day, they're no different than me. And I sit and stand and I'm like, I'm one of God's favorites. So surely I can do $100,000 in a day. I'm going for the million next, but surely I can do $100,000 in a day. And it was a month later. It's not by coincidence that happened. Guys, one of the best things you can do for your business and for yourself and for your life and your children and in your legacy is to put yourself in an environment of people who have already normalized what you're trying to get to. They have to have already normalized it. Then when you get in there, it's like they're not talking about like it's any big deal. What that does, I don't want to get too deep, y'all. I don't want to get too deep because we can go there. But it's telling your subconscious this is what we're doing. And when you get it inside of you, inside of your subconscious, that this is what you're doing, opportunities that come your way, you look at them from a different angle. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down?
I am. I'm taking notes. I'm telling y'all, if I can hope to take notes, y'all got no excuse. I'm trying to tell y'all.
Yes, but when you tell your subconscious something different, you look at opportunities different. Here's the thing. The opportunities were there all along, but you weren't seeing it from the right angle. So you'll hear put yourself in the room around people, but I want to invite you guys to think about it at a deeper level, and that is why. And that's what I did in a month, twice. Got in Neil's group the next month, $100,000 month. Got in Myron's group the next month, $100,000 day.
So one of the things that I think is an undertone without you saying it, but it's like really blatant because they can see it, is that you took that imperfect action.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So you made that investment. So first of all, I want you guys to understand neither one, like you can look both of these guys up. Neither one of their programs is cheap. Neo's is 55K and then Myron's is 155. And Myron's always talking about raising it. You know what I'm saying? So it might be 200 at some point or whatever the case may be. But you invested 200, but you didn't really invest the 200 in the programs. You invested that 200 in yourself. So by you investing that 200 in yourself, and now you giving you the access to, like you said, people that are normalizing operating on a certain level and a certain frequency, have a higher level of expectation.
Yes.
Then that allows you to, okay, cool. Like you said, you're still moving how you were moving, just in terms of like being present, but you're seeing things differently. So
Yes.
obviously there's different marketing strategies and different things for you can apply and deploy and things like that. But like you said, which I think again was super powerful, the opportunities were there the whole time.
They were there the whole time. And I want to touch on something you said for a minute. You said different marketing, different strategies. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say not really.
Mm.
Look at things different. When I joined Neo's group, I probably have over 100 digital assets on my website. Had them already. It's just when you get in a certain environment, you look at things differently. Something that I may have said, well, oh no, I'm not doing that. Oh no, ain't nobody got time for that. I started testing things. I already had the knowledge. I just started operating and moving just a little different. And then in Myron's group, it's a heavy emphasis on who you become. That's a lot of what I teach in my coaching programs. I teach people a skill set, but I also teach them that the real bag is who they become in the process. When you can become a broader, deeper person in the way that you look at things, then the business and putting things in place becomes very easy. Becomes very easy. Let me give you an example. I have a group coaching program. It's called Expansion. It's $30,000 for that program. I have another group coaching program that teaches people how to do group coaching. It's $18,000. The $30,000 program has no content in it. None. Somebody said no content. How are you getting folks to pay $30,000 for a program with no content in it? It has no content. I'm teaching those people how to become the best version of themselves. So the only content is the recording of the previous week.
Mm.
But the people in that 30K program are making moves better than the people in the lower program that is teaching the skill set.
Yeah, 100%. I can see that.
I'm teaching them how to become. I'm teaching them how to become the person. Think of the person that's like, I'm scared to show up on live video. Oh no, I can't do that. But they have all the knowledge to do it. Well, if I teach them how to do that and how to understand that when you walk in your divine assignment, there's nothing attached to you but overflow and abundance. And so when they start showing up in that way with the skill set they already had, they start calling in and attracting. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. I teach it. I teach becoming. I teach the essence of becoming the person that can do all the things.
So I got a couple of questions for you, but also I saw a question just pop in from the community. So
Okay.
let's
All
touch
right.
on
I
that
have
real
so many
quick.
questions. I'll let you read them. Let me go. Let me click.
So
Oh,
so first of all, if anyone is live right now watching this, if you have any questions for Coach Kelly, Dr. Coach Kelly, how I would like to call her on today's episode, drop a question in the chat. I just seen one pop up. What are you doing to get 100K in a day?
What am I doing? I teach 5-day challenges. I teach a 5-day challenge every month. It's the last week of every month. At the end of that challenge, I upsell into a program that teaches how to do group coaching. This it's the last week of every month. Today is my card is open. Today's probably going to be $100,000 day.
Yeah.
Legit, today is probably going to be $100,000 day because
Yeah,
I've been teaching all week.
I'm actually studying that right now.
Really?
Yeah, I'm studying that through launch. Definitely studying that.
Okay.
I'm definitely gonna tap into one of your 5-day challenges.
So I do that challenge every month, and then I have a workshop, a 1 day workshop, 2 hour workshop every month. So then I have an upsell at the end of that.
But one of the questions I have for you, and community, definitely drop the questions below. We have Coach Kelly on live. She's gonna give you the drip, the sauce, everything around how she was able to do 100K in a month, 100K in a day, mindset, everything. So you definitely want to make sure that you take advantage while we have her time. So you were talking about um, walking in a divine assignment. So and also work on who you becoming, right?
Right.
So I want to talk about both of those real quick. So walking in a divine assignment, if someone's hearing that, what does that actually mean? So when
Great.
you're walking in your divine assignment, what do you actually mean?
What I mean is this: have you ever, and this might be you or might be someone you know, have you ever heard somebody say, I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing? Whatever the thing is that they're talking about, I know I can feel it. This is what I'm
Definitely.
supposed to be doing. They can feel it in their bones. That's divine. We're all put here for a specific reason. Most people spend their whole life trying to figure out what that is, and most people die and never know. But there are people that feel what they're supposed to be doing, and they're like, I just need to know how to carry it out. So the first thing is discovering what your divine assignment is and not worrying about what mom and them have to say about it, not worrying about what Ray and them have to say about it, not worrying about what your cousin Keisha, who ain't doing nothing, has to say about it. When you know in your heart what you're supposed to be doing, it is already blessed and ordained for you to have overflow and for you to win at it. So you have to take your imperfect action and couple that with your divine assignment and go and win at it. But fear has no place there.
Fear
Fear,
has no place
fear
there.
has no place there. Fear is the devil's way of keeping you stuck.
How, Coach Kelly, how can someone counteract that fearful energy when they're looking to walk in their divine assignment? Because we're being like the fear machine is on in society. It's on radio, TV, friends, family, your phone. Like, so how does one counteract that energy so they can start to walk in that assignment?
And you just said it, environment. Everything that you just named was environment. And as long as someone stays in the product of in that environment, they're going to be a product of that environment. Does that make sense? Let
So
me
it
explain
does.
something. Let me just go there just for a minute. I won't go too deep, but let me just go there just for a minute. There's turtles and there's giraffes. Turtles are down here and they can only stick their head out of their shell just a little bit. And then when they stick their head out of their shell, that's all they can see. But giraffes, which I'm a giraffe, you're a giraffe having the podcast. If people on here, we're giraffes. We can stick our head up and we can see further than the turtle can. What happens is many giraffes are leaning down to ask the turtle for advice. You can't, when you're leaning down to ask that turtle for advice, two things are happening. One, you're asking advice from someone who can only see at this level because they're a turtle. But also what happens is when that giraffe is bending over, what happens with their neck? Their circulation is being cut off.
Sure is.
Right. And you keep bending over and you keep asking somebody who they can never give you a an informed opinion because they can't see what you can see. Doesn't mean you don't love them. It doesn't mean you don't love the turtles in your life. But you have to understand in your life who are turtles and who are the giraffes.
Yeah, that is a real. I mean, Ty mentioned it below. She left a chat. That's a really. I mean, a comment. That's a really good example. I was about to say that too. It's like a very loving answer. You know what I'm saying? It's like easy to digest. It's like, yeah,
I'm gonna get my point across, but
he,
I'll
he
do it.
is a turtle. She's a turtle. I mean, okay. Like it's easier to be like, stay away from these people, don't do that. It just sounds very loving, which is it's amazing to be able to absorb it, see it, and then also digest it like that.
But start thinking of your friends. Everyone on here can start thinking of the mental Rolodex of your friends. And now you don't need to call anybody up and say, girl, you're a turtle. I'm done with you. Dude, you're a turtle. I'm out of here. We don't need to do that. We need to know for ourselves who are the turtles in our life and who are the giraffes. When you can start to identify that, you're putting yourself in a different environment in a way that I don't even need to discuss my 100K goals or my 100K award that I received with turtles because they don't understand. You didn't get no 100K no day. They don't see that. They can't see that far. So it's half the time it's not even their fault. You think your friend is hating on you. Not really. Maybe sometimes they are, and maybe some friends are. But if they really legit are turtles, then just let them live their turtle life. You can still be friends with them. You can still pat them on top of the head, but realize they can't see what you see. But in order for me to get where I have gotten, I had to get in rooms full of giraffes.
100%. So we got about 8 more minutes with Coach Kelly. We got some new questions that are popping in. I also have a question for her, so I want to make sure that we also do a recap of some of the gems that she dropped. So why don't we just go to a question real quick? Chandra asks, "Do you feel a great way to combat fear is repetition, consistency, or more so environment?"
All of the above. All of the above. When clients come to me and for example, they are scared to get on live video, the first assignment I give them is you have to do 30 days of lives. And 100% of them, by the time they get to around 10, 12 days, they're like, this is nothing. And then by the time they get to day 30, they're a pro. I mean, you can speak to it, Brenda. You've been doing it how long? Every
This show by itself is 30, just this show. But like my podcast is episode 23. My TMT, that's like episode 15. So like, and I'm always on live and put out content. So it's nothing for me. Like
it's
me
nothing.
committing to the show was like, I'm on the phone all day. I could go live and be technically on the phone for 30 minutes. I'm on the phone all the time. So can I program in my calendar that Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 10, I could just do a show? Of course, that's easy.
Right. I mean, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier. You normalized it. I normalized it. And when you normalize it, it just becomes a thing, right? So repetition, yes. Consistency and repetition, they are cousins. Environment, absolutely, yes. You've got to be able to see it. You have to have people feeding into you. Because what I know to be true is that as entrepreneurs, when you start doing big things, the devil sees that and he's going to come and try to steal, kill, and destroy what you are building and what God is doing in your life. And if you're not in an environment that's going to, that you can talk to somebody and say, man, I think I'm about to throw in the towel. This is for the birds. If you don't have somebody to be like, man, knock that off, then you're likely to give in.
Definitely.
That's why so many people start businesses and they don't get anywhere.
100%. So, what I want to do real quick, I want to follow up on. We'll just recap some of the gems that Coach Kelly dropped here. So she talked about believing that you can do it, having that understanding that you can do it, and be able to actually access it. Putting yourself in the environment. Start to normalize that you can do it. Right. You start to reprogram your subconscious. Um, Realizing also opportunities that were there the whole time, but you just weren't seeing it from your vantage point, right?
Right.
Begin to look at things differently, start testing things. Um, it's really about who you're becoming. So focus on who you're becoming in the process. Long as this one I thought was crazy too. Long as you stay in the environment, you will remain a product of that environment, which is that's a full bar right there. And then let them live their eternal life. Let them live their
Turtle life. We
let
can
them live
love
their eternal
them.
life.
They just can't see what we can see, and that's okay. That's okay.
Wow, today's episode was crazy. Um, so guys, if you guys have any more specific questions with Coach Kelly, I got something I want to ask her. So when you had your first 100K, okay, so let's dial it back. So when you had your first 100K month, what did that feel like? Were you like at the house, computer was open, you seen a cart running through? Like, what was your mindset? Like, do you remember that moment? That first 100K month, not the day, the month.
Right. You're not going to believe me, but I wasn't even watching the numbers like that.
Mm.
I was just doing what I do, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I had 100K in a month. What happened was when I put myself in those environments, I started doing more things that I would have previously not done. I would have been
Yes.
like, oh, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not having a workshop every month. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to, go over there and do that. So I started putting myself in different rooms, and that had me get different clients, different clientele. So it wasn't anything that I learned more other than putting yourself in the room and connecting with people and showing your expertise, showing your value. um, I used to, for a long time, I wouldn't take calls because there's one thing that I cannot stand, and that's for somebody to get on the phone and ask you a bunch of questions and they're not about to spend no money.
Yes.
So what I started doing was putting myself in rooms of people who were really ready to move and shake.
Yeah.
So when I would get on the phone with them, they're like, okay, yeah, I'll join your 8-week accelerator for 20K.
Yeah.
So I already had the skill set. It's just the who I became and saying yes to the right things, being in the right places, connecting with the right people. So I wasn't even watching it like that. Now
Was
the
it?
100K day, I was watching it.
Well, that's what I was gonna say next. I was like, okay, was it the same? We did 100K day or
No,
what?
100K a day was intentional. I had done a 5-day challenge, and I knew what day I was going to open up my cart and what day I was going to close my cart. And I knew either the day I opened my cart was going to be 100K day, or the day I closed it would be 100K day. Just for the mere people that I had and what my price point is. My price points are 30K and 18K.
Yeah.
So because of that and the number of people, I'm like, I'm gonna have 100K day.
Yeah.
And that's how I can sit here right now today and tell you by midnight tonight I'm going to bring in $100,000.
Yeah, 100%. I can see that. I mean, you gotta look at the offers, you look at the value, look at the consumer journey. The cart's only available for a limited amount of time. You're gonna over deliver on the value. It's a process of reciprocity. Why would they not want to buy in, right? Especially with the mindset. If they don't get it now, they're gonna have to wait till next month, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So if we're talking about 100K a day, you got a 30K product. I mean, what are we talking about? 4 people?
Right. It's very easy.
You're talking about 4 people, and you're like, yo, I helped 4 people this month. Well, no, I helped 4 people today. And you still got the whole rest of the month.
Still got the whole rest of the month. Today's probably going to be a multiple 6-figure day because 100%. Of the people I have in the challenge. But what I want to leave you and your listeners with is this. It's about, besides becoming the person, it's about having a structure and a flow and a solid machine. So when I said I have a challenge every month, I already know that there's going to be a certain amount of people in the challenge and there's going to be a certain amount of people to upsell after the challenge. I already know that I have a workshop every month and there's going to be a certain number of people. So I have a machine. So I already know what my projections are for this year.
Yep.
So if you're just out here in these coaching streets, just like, oh, let me just have a masterclass over here. Oh, let me do this. You don't have a system and a process in place. You have got to build the machine so you can be able to make projections to where you can leave your job and become a full-time coach if that's what you're trying to do. That's how I'm able to do this. I created the machine.
100%. So, like I told you, we were off camera. I'm extremely grateful, thankful, blessed to have you on the show today. I hope everyone got some value out of this. If you missed anything, make sure you replay this episode, catch all of the gems and the spice and the sauce that Coach Kelly has delivered on this episode. And what I would like to do is let them know where they could find you. And I know you got 5-day coming up, and you mentioned the workshop. Let's talk about when the next ones are coming. So if they want to tap in, they can definitely join.
Yes, absolutely. You can reach me on Instagram at Coach Kelly J, at Coach Kelly J on Instagram. My workshop that I have every month, I won't give you the date because I don't know when you're watching this, but we have it every month, and it goes to the same place on the landing page. You got to do that. Same landing page. When it's over, change the date and keep people coming to that same page. So it's Impactful and Paid Coach Workshop.com. Impactful and Paid Coach Workshop.com. That's the 1-day workshop that I have every month. And then the 5-day challenge that I have every month where I teach you the group coaching business model is group coaching blueprint workshop.com. Group coaching blueprint workshop.com.
Impactful and Paid Coach Workshop.com and Group Coaching Blueprint Workshop.com.
Yes.
Boom. They're right there, and I'm gonna leave them in the caption below so you guys can all tap in. As we departing, I just want to say again, thankful, grateful, extremely blessed. I'm looking forward to seeing you in person in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
At Neo's event, and have a tremendous day. This has been an Imperfect Action show. We had Dr. Coach Kelly on, and she talked about how you can get 100K in a day, and really just, I mean, if you watch episode 29 with Damon and you watch episode 30 with Coach Kelly, you can't
Right.
you can't unsee and unhear this information.
I love
I'll
it.
see you guys
Thank
on
you so
Monday.
much for having me.
100%. Thank you for being on.
All right. Bye.